Yes, Kartika, it's live.
Okay, ma'am, we will wait for some times.
Yeah, I think Sir has joined. Dr. Rufin
Yes, sir, join.
has joined. He's there.
Uh, Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, Professor Kartika. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. We will start in 5 minutes. We
No
will wait
problem.
for participants to join.
Yeah, sure.
Ma'am, shall we start?
Yes, it is launched already. It's live. You can start.
Okay, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone, all the participants. And Rofin sir is already joined with us. So it's my honor to welcome you, sir, to this in 2 days international conference, elevating academic standards and practices in higher education. So he works in IIM Mumbai as an operation and specialist. I mean, his specialization is operations and supply chain. He completed his PhD from IIT, and he have a huge number of publications, research paper publications, and under him there are a few research scholars also. So he have a connect with Vishwakarma University because we have a tie-up. Last year onwards, we have some tie-up with Rofin sir related to our MBA. And this year also, we are collaborating with IIM Mumbai. So it's very honor for me to invite you to the today's sessions. So welcome you, sir, to continue the session.
Yeah. Thank you, Professor Kartika. So first of all, a big thanks to you for giving me this opportunity. So I very well remember the engagement that I had with Vishwakarma University last year. But before proceeding further, I just want to ensure that I am perfectly audible. So
Yes, sir, perfect. Video is clear and your
okay.
voice is also very clear.
Fine, fine. So thanks for the confirmation. And first of all, let me apologize to all the participants that I am unable to be there physically. I would have loved to be there, but because of multiple commitments at my institution, I was unable to travel on this particular date. And also, let me congratulate both the Vishwakarma University and Globe Ethics. So I can see Ms. Rajula is also representing Globe Ethics here. So let me congratulate the Center for Teaching and Learning at Vishwakarma University along with Globe Ethics for conducting this international conference on a very relevant theme, that is elevating academic standards and practices in higher education. So when I went through the brochure of this conference, I could see that there are multiple themes which have been selected for this conference. The first one is okay, quality assurance mechanisms in higher education. And second one is technology enhanced learning and digital education, then globalization and internationalization of higher education, and faculty development, pedagogical innovations, and NEP, and that is outcome based education. So when I went through these themes, I found them extremely relevant because of the kind of dynamics that is happening in our country as well as globally. But my observation or reflection when I started thinking about these topics is there is a lot of kind of intersections or overlapping among these areas also. So when I started doing a little bit of a research on okay the quality assurance mechanisms in higher education, I found that the latest technologies like say generative AI is also playing a critical role in this quality assurance. So I selected one topic that is at the intersection of the first two themes. So that is how you can ensure the quality or assure the quality with the help of technology. So I am coming with this background and let me share my PPT. Yeah. I hope my PPT is visible.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Yeah, thank you. So now I'm going to minimize the window where I can see myself. So if there is any problem with the audio or video, please let me know. And also let me pull up my laser pointer. So yeah, so as I've been already introduced, my name is Rofin. I am currently working as an assistant professor in the area of operations and supply chain management at IIM Mumbai. So IIM Mumbai, earlier it was known as the National Institute of Industrial Engineering, which was established in 1963. And in August 2023, we have become IIM, the 21st IIM of the country. So that is a very brief intro about my institution. We are located very near to Powai in the heart of Mumbai. And today I'll be addressing this topic of quality assurance mechanisms in higher education. So yeah. So when you think about the quality assurance mechanisms in higher education, there are certain things that comes to your mind. So maybe the first thing that comes to your mind would be say accreditation. To get an accreditation, I am doing the quality assurance, but that might not be the spirit of it. Maybe the accreditation should be an outcome of the quality assurance activities that we are doing at our respective department or maybe our university. Then for achieving that accreditation, then definitely you would have constituted an internal quality assurance cell or maybe some mechanisms for ensuring the internal quality. Then you are part of or you are directly or indirectly part of the IQAC at your respective department or maybe your university. I'm sure about that. Second, okay, or third, there are a lot of external quality assurance mechanisms also. Sometimes the regulatory authorities like say maybe UGC or AICTE, they will have their own standards which I have defined, which the affiliated institutions are supposed to follow. So in that way, through a regulatory framework also, I can assure the quality. Then, so these are things that is around us. So I'm not spending too much time on that. And then the next vertical, that is the industry and stakeholder engagement. how the connect with the external stakeholders. So let it be the corporate who are placing from your institute, or let it be the alumni who are holding your flag and spreading your brand across the globe, or any other stakeholders, maybe your incoming student pool, that is also a kind of a stakeholder. So any stakeholder, if you think how you are engaged with the stakeholders, and how you are looking at the point of quality with the stakeholders in mind. So if you ask me who are the most important stakeholders, you will get different answers. Some of you will say that, okay, my most important stakeholder is student. Yes, I agree that. But definitely students are joining with a purpose. Yeah, the noble purpose is to acquire the knowledge, but more pragmatic purpose maybe to get a job. I'm speaking it very kind of looking into the reality of the market. So for a B school for which I am belonging to, that is IIM, maybe one of the criteria based on which they are selecting the B school, say between different IIMs or among different IIMs, they may be looking at the average CTC. That is a reality. If you can conduct a survey among the maybe potential MBA aspirants, you will find this answer invariably among maybe 70 to 80% of the students. Okay, there are other objectives like say entrepreneurship for few of them, and there could be very few who wants to learn management and everything. That numbers will be very less. So if I am defining who is the second most important stakeholder for an institute, those are the see corporates or maybe the organization who are coming for placement in the respective institute. So now it's very important for any institution to understand what is the requirement, and accordingly develop the curriculum and prepare the students so that their kind of their skills are very well matched to the industry requirements, and they will be placed towards or maybe before the completion of the program. So how do I ensure that? So what we are doing at IIM Mumbai, so I'll just mention a few instances of what we are doing. We are engaged in training programs in addition to our flagship PGP programs. In addition to that, we undertake the consultancy assignments as well as applied research assignments. So through this interventions of training, consultancy or applied research, we get to interact with the industry at a very deep level. We understand their problems. We make site visits and we interact with their top management and leaders. We understand the industry problems. So then we also try to solve the problem through a data-driven or some other approaches. After that, whatever knowledge that we have gained from the industry, we take it to the classroom. So in this way, when we do that, we are able to tell what is happening in the market, and the students are also appreciating it very much. So apart from the case studies that is available on the platforms like say Harvard or Ivy or Sage, we are also able to bring in the local ecosystem, industry ecosystem knowledge and the kind of problems that they are facing to the class. So my appeal to all of us, including me, is to reach out to the industry where your students will be placed and get to know what are their problems and what is the requirements or expectations from the students that we want them to be placed, and take it to the classroom. That will be a great idea. Some systems are designed like that inherently. See, if I'm maybe with my limited understanding, if I'm thinking of a medical education, so how a doctor or an MBBS graduate is getting trained. So they have that ecosystem of applied knowledge, or maybe if you think of a nurse also, that nurse is getting the training from day one. That's what my understanding. They are interacting with their potential clients or maybe potential stakeholders on from day one. But if you look into some other streams like say engineering or management, where that engagement with the industry might not be as strong as in the case of maybe the engagement with the stakeholders might not be as strong as in the case of say medical education. So there are certain streams or domains where that integration is by design, and there are certain streams where that integration is not there. It is actually decoupled. So if you belong to that stream of knowledge, then it is your responsibility, or maybe it should be of your interest of coupling the requirements of the industry and what you are delivering. So that is one appeal that, or maybe a request from my side. then okay, definitely I'm going to the fifth vertical of the quality assurance mechanism. That is definitely through global ranking and recognition. So there are, as you know, there are very famous global rankings like say THE, that is Times Higher Education, and there is QS. I would say that QS is more prominent now than compared to THE. So, and you would have come across the weightages that is given to the different parameters of any institution, be it research or be it a faculty-student ratio or the teaching learning process or the other parameters like say sustainability or DEI, what is the gender ratio. So you have seen these parameters and their weightage. So the moment you participate in your accreditation process or the ranking process, then you know that what is to be done, what are the parameters defined, where I have to work, what is the current gap. So for the quality assurance, it is always better to enroll yourself into a accreditation program or participate in a ranking program. Let us not think about the results in the first cycle. It is a kind of a continuous improvement process. In management, we call it as a PDCA, that is plan, do, check, and act, and we'll have that the PDCA cycle repeating. So the same spirit applies to any institution which is participating in an accreditation or a ranking process. As far as B schools are concerned, you know there are very international accreditation agencies like say AACSB is there from US, and Equus is there from Europe, and Amba is there from UK. So any B school which is accredited with this three is known as a triple crowned B school. So why I need accreditation? First of all, it will help me to set the standards of my entire process. So and I am also doing a kind of an assessment. So what assessment I am doing? What is my vision? And from that vision, how am I deriving my mission? And how the program objectives or maybe the program POs, the program objectives, how it is aligned with my mission, and what are my learning outcomes from each of the courses. So how all these things are mapped. So this assessment is helping me to ensure that my students or maybe the stakeholders are getting the benefit of being part of the system. So that is the broader purpose of accreditation, which all of you know. So I am just contextually mentioning. Some of you might have been already belonging to an accredited institute. We respect that. And some of you might be in the process. Some of you are yet to be part of this accreditation journey. But that is going to be the very kind of a hygiene factor for any institution. Why? Because you are going to compete in a, not only on a national level, you might be competing in a global level. Now, the higher education policy, if it is being changed by the GOI, it's already under kind of some transformation. We will be seeing a lot of foreign universities coming into India. So there is a lot of competition in the market, in the global market. That is one thing. Second, the online penetration of education. So see, you can see now Coursera, edX, Udemy, or Khan Academy. You will find at least say 10 to 15 platforms, very active platforms, where the students can enroll themselves for a course. Also, you would have found something called as an MIT Open Courseware, OCW. So this is a free platform. Any student will be able to enroll into that MIT OCW. Or see, we have national platforms like NPTEL, which started with the NPTEL, the National Program for Technology Enabled Learning. Or now we are having Swayam, the MOOC platform, the massive open online courses. Then the Swayam Plus is also there. Now, if you look into Swayam Plus, you will understand that there are very few educational institutions who have offered the course. Mostly companies such as say, IBM, Microsoft, or Google, they are offering the courses. So now there is a competition between the corporates and the educational institutions in getting that share of the student. So the marketplace is very dynamic. On one side, more and more players, online education. Then on the other side, the technology evolution that is happening. So because of all these things, it is very important to improve the quality of whatever you are delivering. So with that backdrop, what I am showing you is a kind of a very broad outline of what is an assurance of learning process. As I already told you, some of you have already completed this accreditation. You might have got some accreditations like a national accreditation or an international accreditation. But for those of you who are in the process, or maybe those who are yet to do this, I'm just sensitizing them. What is the importance of assurance of learning? We are also in the process. We are yet to be internationally accredited because we didn't have that pressure till now, but now we are having that pressure. So we have started our journey. So if you're looking into this diagram, you will find that, okay, there is this mission, vision, and values. So what are you standing for? What is the purpose of your institute or institution or university? From that mission or vision and value system, how you are deriving your learning goals and outcomes. Okay, so now, okay, you have some learning outcomes and everything. Now, how you are assessing whether that learning outcomes have been achieved by the students. So there comes the assessment part. So basically, the one single word that I should connect with assessment is the measurement. So I can measure whether the learning outcomes have been achieved through different ways. So you might have heard about, or you may be using the rubrics. Okay, so rubrics you may be using, and there's a mechanism called embedded question (EQ). So if there is a very clearly defined course learning outcome that is mapped for this particular course, then I can create an embedded question that measures whether this course learning outcome have been achieved or not. Okay, so there are different ways of this assessment, and definitely you will have an LMS, that is a learning management system, in your respective institution. So through an LMS, I'll be able to do all these activities. Maybe some of you are using Moodle or you are using some other LMS. Now there are a lot of players in the LMS industry. And for any institution, it is very hygiene factor to have an LMS and do the assessment through the LMS. Then, okay, through this activities, you're getting a lot of data. You're doing some analytics on the data. And from that, you're getting to know whether the learning outcomes are achieved or not. Then you are giving the feedback to the system. So it's a kind of a continuous iterative cycle for this assurance of learning. So this is the kind of a framework which is very popular, and some of you are already following in your respective organization, no doubt about it. Now, if you look into the assessment in the AI era, the artificial intelligence era, so this is where I am starting my session actually, because I told you I am finding more interest in the overlap or intersection of the first two themes. How I will do the quality assurance with the help of latest technology. That is my interest. So now, if you look into the learning outcome, you can see what do you want your students to learn. That is the single question which I am trying to address by this word called learning out. Now, definitely you are doing some teaching and learning activities. Depending on the course, you may be also planning for some assessment. It can be a MCQ based question, or it can be a project, or it can be a written assignment, or it can be to develop a prototype, or it can be an examination also. So it can be any types of assessment that you are doing. And finally, so there are two more important terms. That is, one is reflection. So the reflection is an introspection by the student. Okay. So are you prompting your student to do a reflection to gauge himself or herself? Okay. To understand whether I have learned, uh, whether I have achieved the learning outcome. So what is it that you are doing as an institution to encourage this reflection, or to maybe formalize this reflection process? Okay, that is one question that I'm posing to yourself and myself. Then finally, the feedback. So feedback need not be from the faculty alone. Faculty definitely has to give the feedback, no doubt about it. And can be also from the peer group. Okay, one student getting feedback from the other student, or it can be from a mentor who could be an alumni. So the feedback can be from multiple sources. It need not be always from the faculty. Faculty definitely has to give the feedback. So when I am looking into this four pillars to ensure the learning outcomes, so you can see the teaching and learning activities, assessment, reflection, and feedback. So how many of these components are there in your programs? How you are doing it? So the answer varies, I know. If I've been listened by X number of people, or maybe say 100 people, all 100 of you will have different perspectives on that and different systems that you are belonging to. I know that. Then if you look into the evolution of assessment, you can see there is assessment of learning, that is summative. Then that is like giving the medicine to a dying patient. You are only doing the evaluation towards the end of the course. So in between, you are not having any interventions. So there was this criticism, don't do the summative, then you go for a formative, where you're doing a continuous evaluation with the help of multiple components in different time points of the course. So that is what is your formative assessment. That is assessment for learning. Then came, okay, one school of thought, let me combine both summative and formative. Let there be continuous assessment and let there be evaluation towards the end of the course. So I can see that hybrid variety also. Then this is something called as assessment as learning. Assessment as learning is a metacognitive. This primarily depends on the reflection. So the student is reflecting whether I have learned and whatever my learning, how I'll be able to apply. All of you know the different levels of Bloom's taxonomy, starting from remember to understand to apply to evaluate, whatnot, create. So the student should be made to think whether the student has actually learned. The student has to do a kind of an introspection. So there comes this metacognitive assessment as learning. Then finally, what I'm going to focus is assessment integration with the technology, in particular, generative AI. So I am sure that all of you would have tried ChatGPT. Some of you are very active users of ChatGPT, and some of you would have already tried the DeepSeek that has already come into the market. So now, with that context, let me introduce to you how the assessment should be done, or what are some of the concerns of this Gen AI or AI era in general, and how we have to plan for our assessment. That is the first part. After that, I will take a case study. That case study is on Coursera. I know that all of you know this platform called Coursera, and there's a reason why I am taking the Coursera as an example. So I'll come to that. So let me focus here. That is the challenges in assessment in the Gen AI era. So there are multiple arguments. Okay, this can lead to some erosion of. So if you're doing the assessment using a ChatGPT or any Gen AI platform, this can lead to an erosion of human-centric evaluation. I am not seeing the student individually. I'm not understanding the requirement of the student, and I am just relying on a platform that is kind of insensitive to the student requirement. That is a classic criticism. In the same line, I can say that I'm not catering to the individual learning styles or cultural context. Maybe the chat GPT, which has been trained on a data set, which is the large language model behind the chat GPT that has been trained on, say, Western or say US context, whether that assessment by ChatGPT will be right for an Indian context. Suppose I am taking a course on, say, communication in the Indian context. Now, a ChatGPT based assessment, will that be a right assessment to do? Because there are a lot of cultural elements in the communication, right? If you think of maybe the business communication, so the US people, so if the meeting is between two US people, they will straight away, they will start with the discussion on the business. But if you look into the Japanese people, they will not start discussing about the business. They will try to have a relationship with each other. Then after that only they will speak the business. So if I am teaching a course on business communication, say in India, I have to definitely incorporate the cultural elements in India, how that culture will kind of influence the communication. So whether a chat GPT based or maybe Gen AI app based app, will that be able to maybe capture that cultural element? That is another question. Then issues of data privacy and security. When you are feeding the data about the students, one is data about the students. Second, data collected by the students on something else. Maybe I'm giving an assignment on collecting the data on some patients. Now, especially for say maybe medical education, how can I enter the data for assessment by ChatGPT or any other Gen AI platform if the data belongs to some patients? So there are very major issues related to the data privacy and security. Then definitely, what is the data set that has been trained? This large language models. On what data set it has been trained? Does that contain some biased or unrepresentative data? So then what about my assessment? If I am relying on a large language model that is biased or unrepresentative, my assessment also will go wrong, right? Then finally, students lacking the genuine knowledge and skills. So I've been giving an assignment. The student is generating the assignment with the help of ChatGPT and submitting it. I'm putting it into maybe the Turnitin platform. Then the Turnitin is saying that, okay, there is AI generated content. Now I'm giving the feedback to the student that, okay, there is AI generated content. So you will not be evaluated for this assignment. Now came the Quillbot. They can humanize the AI generated content and they can submit the assignment. But as a intelligent faculty will be able to understand, is it a human content or humanized content, the content that has been generated by Gen AI that has been converted into a humanized content. Maybe there are some words which the humanizing app has substituted with a synonym, and that synonym is totally out of context. Then an intelligent faculty can easily make out what is the kind of assignment that is submitted by the student. So what is happening in this process? There is a gaming between the faculty and the student. Somebody is trying to take a shortcut and you're finding a way to maybe detect that shortcut. Then the student is trying to do one more game to avoid that. So in that gaming process, are we actually losing the purpose for which the student and faculty is interacting? That is the learning and knowledge part of it. And the learning they should be able to apply. So in this gaming process, are we losing the higher purpose? So that is another challenge in the assessment. Yeah. Then you can see this point validated through some of these comments which has come out as a part of an interview. So you can see from research findings, some students have mentioned, I think it is safe to say that ChatGPT has spoiled me because it is becoming pretty hard for me to write a full sentence without the temptation to ask ChatGPT to fix it for me, because they always use better words when you are trying to express. Maybe if I ask this question to myself, maybe for drafting a long mail, I'm using ChatGPT, and I'm sure that most of us are using ChatGPT. Now we are getting conditioned with ChatGPT. There's no problem in that because I have to adopt the technology, use it, no problem. But there could be some problems in terms of maybe lack of critical thinking skills or maybe some other skills we are losing in this process. That is okay. That we have to evaluate it separately. But what is happening to the students? Are they reading and understanding, or are they asking the ChatGPT to generate something for them? So if they are doing the latter, then definitely they are missing the bus, right? You can see some teachers are saying very concerned students already have poor critical thinking and information search skills in general. So I'll come to these points in my coming slides, and I will tell you what can be the problems of this Gen AI teacher or something like. Yeah. Now, how can you overcome such a situation, or how you can treat ChatGPT as a friend? We cannot avoid it. It is like avoiding computers. That is not practical. That is not possible. So what you should do as a faculty or as a teacher who are interacting with the students, and what kind of assessments will you do? How will you do that? So one option is, okay, integrate multiple assessment methods. Suppose I am asking the student to present. Maybe the PPT can be made with the help of a generative AI app, but the presentation has to be done by the student. That is one thing. Second, if I am asking the student to make a site visit, again, the generative AI app cannot do the site visit. The person has to go. Maybe you ask the student to include a geotagged photo in the presentation that the student is making after the site visit. So, how am I ensuring the student to, or maybe to actually do the site visit and have the learning? So you have to think about the multiple assessment methods depending on your domain, your stream. I cannot generalize it. Then definitely promote authentic assessments in the AI era. So that is whatever I've been speaking. Authentic assessments, okay, like site visit, something like that, or a practical project. So there has to be a tangible outcome for that project. This is very applicable for a engineering program, right? Then promoting academic integrity and genuineness in the AI era. So how you are encouraging them to be ethical, and how you are ensuring the academic integrity. It should be based on a theory X philosophy as well as theory Y philosophy. I cannot go by theory X or theory Y alone. Then embracing AI as a learning partner. So it's very what is a universal truth that I cannot ignore AI. AI is there, AI is going to be there, and AI is going to influence. So how I can make AI or generative AI a friend rather than a kind of a servant. That is the spirit. Then prioritizing soft skills in assessment in the AI era. As I told you, if I'm asking the student to make a presentation, so from the presentation, I'll be able to assess whether the student has actually gained that knowledge. So you have to apply these principles. These are very generic principles that I know. You have to apply these principles to your respective stream and think of the assessment design. That is my point. Now, I'm entering into the case study. So I'm taking here the case study of Coursera. Why Coursera? Because as I told you in the beginning of the session, the online education, you cannot escape from the online education. Some of you would have made the courses from NPTEL or maybe the Coursera or edX or any other platform as a part of your curriculum. We are doing it at our institution. We also conduct a global online course. What is this global online course? We have collaborated with the professor in MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, the #1 university in the world, and that professor is delivering synchronous sessions. So the participants have to register, then they will get to interact with this professor. These are all synchronous sessions. There is no recorded session. So online education is a kind of a blessing on one side. Because of this online, and again, thanks to COVID, because whatever kind of innovations that the CTO, the Chief Technological Officer, was unable to bring in a corporate, COVID was able to bring it. The adoption of the online platform. And I'm sitting and delivering here. That itself is a kind of a validation for what I'm saying. So the online education, we cannot escape from the online education. Now, whether the online education is a competitor or is a partner, that is a question that we have to ask ourselves. So now let me think about this Coursera. This is a very, very famous platform, and all of us know about this platform. But one major problem that the Coursera is facing, as you can see in this image, it is like that small or maybe the apples that the kid has just bitten and kept it there. So these are my courses at Coursera. How many of us who have enrolled Coursera has actually completed the course? So this is a very larger or very, very critical question. I may have an enthusiasm, and if it is a self-paced course, I will watch some lectures, then I will leave it there. But I can definitely tell if the monetary commitment is high, and if the perceived benefit of the course is also very high, definitely you will complete it. Suppose you have paid some, say, 1 lakh or 2 lakhs for a online degree or a micro master's program from, say, MIT, then your likelihood of completing the course is very high. Or your institution says that unless you complete this say course from Coursera, then you are not going to get the degree. Or the corporates is saying that unless you complete this many courses, then you will not get your next promotion. So all these places I am finding a theory X. That means I'm inherently assuming that the learners are demotivated. We have to push them to complete any course or to do the learning. So that is the context in which I have selected this case study on Coursera. And yeah, if you look into this platform, there are multiple stakeholders. On one side, they're getting the revenues from the consumers. People like you and me, we are enrolling for a course. And in order to get the certificate, I am paying them a certain fee. And so that is the consumer revenues. Second, there is a degree revenue. So they have kind of a partnership with institutions, universities, and in collaboration with them, they are offering degrees. So and they are charging also certain fees for that. So that is the degree revenues. Then enterprise revenues. That means this content in the Coursera that is also extended to the corporates. If you look into corporate as a client, that is very large client, very, very large client. I'll come to some of those aspects. So now that is the enterprise revenues. Fine. So these are the three major revenues. And if you look into the Coursera structure, what kind of programs are there in Coursera, you can see, take a look on the top. That means the very short videos. So it will only last for 5 to 10 minutes. So there's a funnel. The shorter your video, the number of the viewership will be very, very large. Okay. Then the next is learner 2. Maybe you have to spend around 2 hours to learn something, say something on Excel. I want to know how the pivoting is done, or I want to know some other techniques in Excel. So there are a lot of videos in Coursera that is just around say 2 hours. Then explore a topic. So this can last up to say 4 to 6 weeks. Fine. Then advanced skill. So that is a kind of an extension to the learner tool, but it is a 3 to 6 months short-term certification program. Then to get a job, maybe you need a diploma. So there the span is even longer. It is from say 3 to 12 months. Earn a degree. So definitely for working professionals or maybe those students who are motivated to do a parallel degree. All of you must be aware of the bachelor's in data science program offered by IIT Madras. So many students are enrolling for that. The dropout rates are also high. That's a different thing. So you can see all these different formats in which Coursera is offering the courses. Yeah. Then I checked their financials. So what I'm finding is from 21 to 23, I've captured the data and I'm finding that the customer revenue, it was say 59% share of the total revenue. So if you look into the last row, the total revenue has increased from 415 to 524 to 636. But within that total revenue, I have three segments. One is the revenue from the individual customers. Then one is the revenue from the corporate customers, that is B2B. And third is the revenue from the degree programs. So the share of these three programs varies. So if you look into this, see this figure, 59%. So in 2021, I was getting 59% of my revenue from my customers. Now that has slightly come down to 57%, right? But so what is happening to the enterprise revenue? Look here, 29% was my revenue from the enterprise customers in 2021, which has increased to say 35%. So this shows how much the corporates are relying on the online platforms for training their employees, right? So this number speaks a lot of story. For the interest of time, I am just advancing. Then here also you can see the total addressable market of Coursera. That means there is a market potential, but I cannot take all the market. There is edX, there is NPTEL, there is Swayam Plus, there is Khan Academy, there is Udemy. So what is my market share? What is my total addressable market? And how it is projected from 2023 to 2026. So this graph also tells a lot of story of the CAGR. So you can see four different segments. So the orange color, that is consumer massive open online courses, the orange color. Then this dark blue color, you can see that is the corporate learning. So here I'm having a B2B. Then the even the kind of a navy blue color, this degrees online program management. That means as a university, I'm offering the degree in the Coursera platform, and Coursera is doing the program management. The degree is given by the institute, but the program management is managed by the Coursera. That is what is OPM. Fine. And again, this color, this light color, that indicates the online degrees. Okay. So how the growth is projected, this is very, very clear from this graph. And you can see highest CAGR, that is 35% CAGR for this orange, that is the consumer moves. That is a good sign. And you can see how the other segments are growing. So this is the Coursera story. Now, let me come to the crux of it. Now, you know Coursera, what is the importance of the online education? Now, once it is online, then the role of AI is also very critical. Now, for this, Coursera has come up with a project called Project Genesis. So, we will now discuss the different features of Project Genesis. So, the first thing that they did is AI-powered translations and content format modification. So, all the courses which is launched in Coursera, which will be primarily in the English language. Now, the moment you are able to translate these courses into the local language, it can be any European language like say German or maybe French, or it can be say Mandarin. So you look into the volume of people who are speaking this languages, or you take the case of say Spanish. In US also, you know how many people are speaking say Spanish. So the moment you can translate this English-based courses to the some of the local languages, what will be its impact, right? So there's a tremendous pressure on this online platform to translate these courses. And earlier, Coursera was incurring say $10,000 for translating one course. Now with Gen AI, I'm able to do it at say $20. See the reduction in the cost, right? So this is a very good insight. Then Coursera integrated deep learning based machine translation engines into its platform to handle the automatic subtitle translation at scale. Suppose somebody is delivering in, say, in English. I want to see the subtitle in, say, Hindi or in some other language. So this deep learning based machine translation engines will help me to understand that. Now, if you look into the societal impact of this knowledge going to every nook and corner of the world, the societal impact is 100x. It is not that the Coursera is doing it for its own benefit. There's a lot of heavy spillover effect, right? Because language is a very strong barrier. The moment you're able to translate it and provide it in the local language, the impact will be very, very high. If you look into the milestones in August 2023, they have translated the business to business courses into 7 languages, all the business B2B courses. In October 2023, they have translated 4,000 B2C courses. And in early 2024, they have translated 4,400 of their highest grossing courses in, see, 21 languages. So see the power of the technology. So are we using this technology, or are we even strategizing the technology of translation? And with it, what can be the societal impact? That is something that as universities that we have to think, including IIM Mumbai. Then now it's not only the kind of basic the content. There is a lot of scope. With the translation engine, they were able to translate the course reading. Suppose I'm giving a pre-read material. Now with the translator engine, I'm able to give it in the local language. Then the discussion prompts. Okay, there could be a kind of a discussion page of the participants. So can I also translate this? Then lecture video subtitles, then peer review instructions, assessments, quizzes. All these things can be translated. Now in the future, there will be, say, voice cloning. That means suppose originally I'm delivering in, say, English, then the participants will hear it as, say, in Hindi or any other local language. So that is the purpose of AI-driven voice cloning. Then suppose in this PPT, everything is in English. If I'm able to translate this text into text in the images to the local language, then that also will come in the local language. Further, the text in the videos. Suppose I am watching a video, I am listening to some NPTEL lecture, and I am seeing the PPTs. So in that video, whatever text is there, can I convert into a local language? Then it is ultimate translation from any language to the local language. This will have a huge social impact. So this is one aspect of Project Genesis. Second aspect is AI-powered coach. AI-powered coach, you know, the one classic criticism for the generative AI-based assessment was, okay, it is not taking into account the individual needs of the students. Now, with this AI-powered coach, I can give one-to-one mentoring to the students. That is the ideal point. I am able to give individualized attention. I am able to provide one-to-one mentoring. So this mentoring and the coaching happens in different ways. First one is a course discovery and selection. Suppose I am confused. I am bombarded with, say, hundreds of courses. Which course should I select? Suppose I am a person who is working in as a nurse in a hospital in, say, Mumbai. Now, which course should I take so that I can have a better career trajectory? Suppose I am another person who is working in the oil and gas sector. Now, which course should I take to have a promotion? So often I'm having this doubt of which courses to be selected. So the course discovery and selection, this AI-powered coach will help you. Then you can see personalized pre-quizzes and answers, because the students are at different level. Students are heterogeneous. The IQ varies and everything, the background varies and everything. So are you able to provide an individualized attention or maybe a customized kind of a solution to the students? So this is also one objective of this AI-powered coach. So you can see here recommendations on action students should take to deepen their knowledge. Then the third one is AI-based role-playing simulation, communication analysis, and decision-making exercises. Suppose you want to take a course on, say, negotiation. So one approach is to have a role play. You give some information to each of the party, then let them negotiate. So that is a role play. Now, what if this exercise needs to be done on an online platform? I might not be able to make two people interact with each other. Then I should have a AI agent. That is a kind of a chatbot which will also talk with you on negotiation. So all these things are possible with the help of AI powered coach. Yeah. So for the interest of time, I am just shifting my gears. So this is how the snapshot of this AI powered coach looks like. So you can see this is the logo. He is saying that, or maybe the mascot. So I am coach. How can I help advance your learning? Apply this concept to my job as an engineer, or I want to switch to a career as a data analyst. So these are some of the queries from the potential participants. Yeah. So AI powered coach. Then there's again a snapshot. So how the AI powered coach is giving a summary of a course on Gen AI. So Gen AI is used to summarize about the course on Gen AI. So Alex is asking, give me a summary. Then the coach is giving a summary of what the course is all about. So I'm getting a personalized touch even in Coursera. Yeah. Then definitely the AI powered coach is helping in proctoring. So definitely you would have come across AI powered proctoring. Nowadays, at least in my institution, what is happening is we are offering a lot of online courses. Then comes a question, what should be the kind of evaluation? You are basically giving an IM certificate or IM degree. How you are ensuring the rigor in the evaluation. So there we have interacted with multiple edutech partners. They have shown us the different proctoring solutions and what are the AI features in this proctoring. To that extent, if I am looking here and there, the software will give me a report at the end of the exam saying that you have looked somewhere, so you're not eligible to complete this exam. So that is the degree with which the proctoring is done. Then there is this key term called a keystroke analysis. So what is this keystroke analysis? Suppose I am a student, but I am having a proxy who is a friend who is typing into my keyboard for my final exam. Okay. So if the keystroke analysis feature is there, the system will be able to detect, is it the same student who have been typing earlier, or is it a new person who have come in lieu of that person? So there are a lot of methods for keystroke analysis. This will prevent the fraud and it will ensure the academic integrity to some extent, right? And the browser lockdowns. If you conduct an online exam, definitely they will minimize your window and they will go to the chat GPT, copy paste whatever content is and then you're in your question paper or take a snapshot and upload it in the chat GPT. So you have to prevent all these things. So for that, you have to do a browser lockdown. Then disablement of the copy function. If you have seen Harvard case study, you cannot copy paste from the PDF files that is generated by the Harvard Business School. So there are such features. So with the help of AI, I should be able to do all these things, right? Then the project 3 under this AI project Genesis is the AI based course builder. So now there's a pressure on the institutions to launch more and more courses, not simply courses, the courses which are relevant for the industry. So I have to have a topic in my mind. Say, I'll give you one example, say machine learning. Now industry, so say pharma. So pharma is one industry. So machine learning for pharma, for the maybe the mid-level managers. So that is the target participants. So there are 3 components for any course. So when I'm designing the course, I should keep in mind what is the topic, who are the target participants, and what is the industry. So now with the help of this AI-based course builder in Coursera, I can build some courses. So you can see here EC Author. So this is a feature in this Coursera. So I can develop a course with the help of this EC Author. Yeah. So this is AI-based course builder. Finally, the project 4, that is Project Genesis, that is Gen AI Academy. You know that there's a lot of demand for Gen AI. Then you can see some statistics, a BCG report. They found that only 6% of the firms had trained more than 25% of their employees on Gen AI tools, and that almost 50% of firms' employees on average would need to undergo AI-related upskilling in the 3 years. So there is a lot of demand for certain courses. If you launch a course on Gen AI, there are a lot of takers. So Coursera have introduced this concept of Gen AI for everyone, which was launched in Q4 of 2023. Gen AI for executives was launched in early January 2024. Gen AI for teams, Gen AI for software and product teams, for data teams and marketing teams. A lot of courses are being kind of uploaded in Coursera on GenAI. So if I look into the project Genesis, there are 4 projects which I have told you. First one is on translation, translate maybe English into the local languages, right? Second is AI powered coach. Third is the course builder, and fourth is the GenAI Academy. Now comes this question. So I'm just skipping this slide for the interest of time. Maybe I'll just extend it for 5 more minutes. I hope it is okay. The moderator, can you please confirm? Do I have 5 minutes or should I conclude?
Yes, sir. No issues.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So now here comes this classic comment by this British education expert, Sir Anthony Sheldon. So he's saying by 2027, AI will replace human teachers on global scale. Some of you may agree, some of you may disagree, but I would like to disagree. And I will show you the reasons why I would like to disagree in the subsequent slides. First of all, your ChatGPT cannot empathize with the students. ChatGPT can at most do a personalized tutoring. It can develop a customized solution for each of the student, but the human connect will not be there. So that is one major limitation. So there is something called as sentience. Sentience is that okay, the robots or the cybernetic organisms are developing the sense of emotions. Once the ChatGPT has gone to that level, then empathy can come into picture. But that is a very not in near future that will happen. But currently, the AI platforms cannot empathize with the human being. And research is saying that strongly empathetic learner-teacher relationship that will lead to 2.5x greater impact on learning than personalization. So personalization is needed, no doubt. But are you empathetic to your students? Maybe if we look back to our primary education, then we will understand that we would have studied those subjects for whom we developed a very strong liking for the faculty or the teacher, right? If I like that teacher, then I may learn that subject little bit with more interest. So empathy is very critical, and the psychology says that okay, there is something called as neuronal coupling. So what is this neuronal coupling? When two people start talking with each other, then they simultaneously release oxytocin, oxytocin. Then their brain activity begins to synchronize. So this is what I'm calling it as this neuronal coupling. So there should be this neuronal coupling between the teacher and the student. Then that will lead to the empathy, further motivating the student to learn in a more effective manner. Then definitely another comment. This is also a very interesting comment by Professor Rose Luckin from University College London. So he is saying that since ChatGPT can access and organize all the world's knowledge, learners need not longer waste time in learning the facts. Instead, they can focus on higher order thinking skills like creative and critical thinking. That is his perspective. What he is saying that I need not spend time in reading and assimilating the information. I can get everything from ChatGPT if I'm giving a proper prompt. So I can focus on the critical thinking. But this assumption is also being questioned. Why? Because the creative and critical thinking occurs via something called as a subconscious consolidation process. Okay. So what is the subconscious consolidation process is what I will explain. So all of us are having a short-term memory or a working memory. It is very much limited. In any given point of time, I can process only very limited information because our cognitive capabilities are very much limited. So I will take the information, then I will give it to the long-term memory for processing. So sometimes this will happen. Say you imagine maybe when you were doing your PhD or research, maybe there have been days which are very disturbing. I am trying to comprehend something, it's very tough. I'm unable to decode it. But okay, I'm sleeping. And the next day morning, when I am trying to decode it, I'm able to do that. Because when you are sleeping, your brain is working. So whatever you have given as a query on the previous night, maybe the brain is working on that and coming up with a solution on the next day morning. Maybe you have forgotten the name of a friend or a movie that you have watched. Maybe next day morning, you may be able to recollect this. This is because of the subconscious reconsolidation process. Correct. Now, maybe those people who are from, say, chemistry, they'll be able to identify this person. He is Kekulé, who came up with the structure of benzene. So he had a dream, and in which he has seen that one snake is eating its own, maybe the tail, or maybe two snakes eating each other. So from that came the ring structure of the benzene. So this happened in his dream. So that is a classic example of a subconscious reconsolidation process. So one more Indian example, this great person called Ramanujan. So he used to say that Ramanujan always maintained that it was Namagiri Tayar, the god that he was a devotee, who placed equations on his tongue. So this could be a subconscious reconsolidation, uh, a divine activity that Ramanujan has perceived. So because of the subconscious reconsolidation or neuronal coupling or that empathy part of it, whether AI can replace the human educators, that is the question that I am posing to you. Fine. So can generative AI foster the development of higher order thinking skills? We have to do more research on that. And finally, multitasking. Yes, all of us are holding our phone, and I am sure that most of you would have checked your phone at least several times during my session. So this is also happening with the students when they are trying to listen and learn something from a course in a laptop or in a phone. They would have gone to their social media accounts like say FB or Insta or LinkedIn, whatnot. So the multitasking, will that actually lead to a proper deep learning? So whatever I was supposed to do in 10 hours, because of this digital distractions, I am able to do it only by say 20 hours or 30 hours. So that is another limitation. Now, yeah, so I'm just showing you some of the apps which you can also rely on for improving maybe your own teaching. So you can see image synthesis, all these apps are there, and you'll Google it and you'll get a lot of it. Then for video generation, so I strongly appeal you to explore these apps if you're not doing it. If you're already doing it, well and good. Then for audio generation, so you can see all these apps. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. At least there will be a free account which we can explore. And definitely I forgot to include the what you call DeepSeek, right? So you can see here ChatGPT, Quillbot, Jasper, Bard, and Google Translate. So and also for code generation. So this is again a very radical thing. Earlier we used to teach how to code in Python for developing a machine learning algorithm. Now we need not do that. Because ChatGPT will generate the code. Right. Maybe you have to do a troubleshooting. That's a different issue. So that initial psychological barrier is not there. ChatGPT can generate the code and I can learn a machine learning algorithm. So with this, let me conclude. Yes, humans are hooked and machines are learning. So now I am open to your questions. And I really regret the fact that I am unable to come there and interact with you directly. That is like, I don't know how much effective it has been or how much value add I could make. But anyway, thank you once again. I am open for questions.
Thank you, sir. Participants can put their questions in the Q&A if they have any doubts.
Yeah. I think I know that post-lunch sessions are very difficult, and I don't know what was there for lunch. So I can completely understand. I'll be happy to take some questions if you have. Otherwise, also it's perfectly fine. Yeah.
I think we can wind up, sir. Again, we want to start that presentation also. I think majority of the participants has maybe a little bit tensed about the presentation and all.
Okay.
Maybe because of that.
Sure.
So
So
thank you so much.
thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity and wishing all the best to all the participants. Yeah.
And I want to highlight a few more points that you started with the quality assurance. Of course, we know that IIMs are the best ones in ensuring quality assurance systems, IIM and IITs. So again, you switch to AI and all. You've shown some of the tools we can use for video and audio generation. Some of the tools yesterday actually, no issue contractor, because he was there in the last month also. You may have
Great.
interacted. He also shown some of the video clips, how he generated and all. So we are very happy because one person from US and one person from IIM also contributing the same concept, and we are very proud. Indians also very high levelly sophisticated in the area of education, and we know that the importance of Coursera also. So very clearly you elaborated the importance of Coursera. So I'm once again, thank you so much for being
Yeah.
with us. We
Yeah,
will
thank
meet
you.
you soon. We will meet you soon.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you,
Sir,
Professor Karthik, and thank you, Ms. Rajula. Yeah.
Sir, from Globothic side, actually, I was very impressed, and no wonder you are with IIT. And presentation not only just brilliant, the flow from the beginning till the end. You did not struggle for words. Plus, your understanding of the subject, it is very in depth. You know the in and out, and then you also knew how to present it, and then highly professional with the good standard. You have actually, maintained from the. I was very impressed. Very few people are able to present like you. So all the very
Yeah.
best. And one question from my side nowadays.
Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
open Facebook, that IIT, it is something unreachable for many, and the process is very tough to get admission, whether for work or to get admitted as a student. And then I see in Facebook now IIT Indore, IIT Lucknow, like that. But it is attached with the Emeritus something, with another private party. They're
Okay.
offering a lot of courses, mainly for working professional online. And are they reliable? Are they?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I can speak on this aspect for 1 hour, but for the interest of time, I will give you a quick answer. See, first of all, I will tell it as I am. I am Indore, I am Lucknow, or I am Ahmedabad, or I am Bangalore, or I am Mumbai is also there. I am, sir, self-sufficient. That means we will not get the grant from Ministry of Education.
Okay.
So we have to generate our own funds. So there are offline programs, residential programs, which is the selection is based on exams like say CAT. For example, IIM Mumbai are having students who are having CAT 98 percentile, 99 percentile, something like that. Now there are so many programs that we extend to the corporates also. It can be an online MBA degree, or it can be 1 year certification program, something like that.
Executive certificate program in project management for 6 months.
Yes. So this is where we collaborate with the EduTech partners.
Okay. So they are reliable, authentic. That is what I would like to know.
They are reliable, but you are not getting a degree. And for degree, the selection process is rigorous. Even if it is an online degree, with the help of an EduTech partner, there also the selection process is rigorous.
Okay.
Yeah, they are reliable. You will get the certification. But these are not the full-time residential degrees. You cannot.
Yes, it's mainly working professional.
Correct.
And it is actually something to do with the capacity building or upskilling or upgrading, like that.
Yes.
So for working professional, 6 months, and then something they learn, and then it is recognized like that. Because I find so many, so I wanted to know whether it is authentic, that is the way it is functioning, or it is extended to corporate, like that.
We will call it as a red ocean, means all the IIMs are there in the market. And not only IIMs, there are corporates like say Google offering certifications, IBM's offering certifications. So there is a lot of competition. In addition to that, we have Coursera, edX, and the MIT is coming into the Indian market to get this market share.
Okay. So which is true now. So it is given, education is given even to the working people that way.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Wonderful having you. Definitely, I would like to have you, because we keep organizing partnership program with universities and colleges within India and outside. And then mostly sometimes hybrid, sometimes physical. I'll take your details from Karthika, and I would like to stay in touch with you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. All the best.
All the best. All the best, sir. Karthika will end the meeting because we have to connect, sir, now.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. We will start the presentation meeting.
Yeah, so we have to disconnect and connect the meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir, once